Welcome back. The program is still the AFIA Morning Show. Now, you'll recall that last Wednesday, concerns grew over sporadic shooting at the Oko-Ekwulobia flyover in Aguata local government area of Anambra State. The showdown reportedly took place under the Eko-Ekwulobia flyover, leaving 2 dead, 1 security vehicle burnt, and panic over the nature of the incident. For an update, we are joined virtually from Awka, the Anambra State capital, by the PPRO, Anambra State Command, SP Tochukwu Ikenga. Good morning, SP Ikenga. Thank you for joining us this morning. Yes, pleasure to have you join us. Can you hear us loud and clear?
I can hear you loud and clear.
Fantastic. Thank you so much. Could you please bring us up to speed with developments so far in this shooting incident last week? What has the police been able to uncover so far?
Okay, thank you for having me once more again. Let me use this opportunity to thank AFIA TV for always coming up to report security incidences, especially as it concerns Anambra and Nigeria in general, to set the record straight and to make people understand that not only police, security agencies are actually doing their best to make sure that our dear state and our country is safe. The incident that happened in Aguata a few days ago is just a cowardly display of armed men trying to instill fear in the Anambra. If you have been following the trend of what we are doing here in Anambra, especially as it concerns security, you understand that it's a collective will, not only from the security agencies, but also from the Anambra, to make sure that security is stable and safety is guaranteed. What happened that day was just armed men cowardly came out and started shooting periodically to instill fear in the Anambra. But our gallant joint operatives, which comprises of the police, the DSS, immigration, and civil defense, and even the military, stood firm in that regard. We were able to recover 1 AK-47 and 1 pump action. The incident did not only happen in Aguata. When the armed men shot periodically, they went through that Eko-Ekwulobia flyover and got to Oko in Olumba South and started attempted to attack the police station. But the men there stood their ground. That was where we recovered one of the pump action. In that under the flyover at Aguata, we were able to recover because they came with their operational vehicles, about 6 of them. We were able to recover four of the operational vehicles, while they took the other 2 and left the scene. But the unfortunate incident is that as they were shooting indiscriminately, bullet caught up to 2 persons who were immediately secured and by the operatives that responded to that incident. They were taken to the hospital. Unfortunately, they died. I call them heroes of justice. And we, Command, have also want to use this opportunity to console the family of the deceased. Outside that, ever since then, operations have been going on in Aguata. In the follow-up of that incident, we were able to also recover another AK-47, abandoned suspectedly by these armed hoodlums. And ever since then, safety have returned in that area. And this incident have never happened in a very long time, like in 5 or 6 months ago. We have never witnessed this. And we also want to use this opportunity to call upon the Anambra residents to also continue with what they are doing in terms of supporting us with the information. Within this few period of when this thing happened, we were able to arrest suspectedly some of these persons that are fingered within that that made that incident to happen. And I know within the short period, we shall also parade those suspects so that members of the public can see that police are actually firm in what we are doing in the state.
Okay, I want to ask this question. As you say that they were just out there being overzealous, shooting sporadically. Yeah. To what end? Yeah. To what end? Why would they just go around shooting people? Is there any missing link? Did anything happen? Them trying to register their displeasure about something. It's only a madman that can just go out there and start shooting sporadically, in the air or aiming at people. Did you ascertain this?
Yes, just like I earlier mentioned, if you have been following the trend of the security situation of how the security have been evolving in the states, you will see that the command have not only neutralized some of their criminal camps, we have made them so uncomfortable that where they see as harbor is no longer safe for them. Before this incident, I know we have neutralized most of their criminal camps in Aguata Tochukwu in Ihiala, and also within that Aguata axis. It is also in a show of trying to return us to where we are before. I believe that's why they did what they did. But you can see that they made their water low, and we are also trying to make sure that the persons that are behind this don't do it again.
All right. Now, during an earlier interview with the Commissioner for Information, Dr. Lomefo, I was really seeking clarity on the nature of the confrontation between operatives of what he described as Agune Chemba and these armed criminals. Could you please describe the nature of the hot pursuit between these two categories of individuals?
Okay. Before the launch of Operation Udogachi, which is being anchored by Agune Chemba. Agune Chemba is just a code name for the vigilantes currently in the state. Then the persons that are enforcing that Operation Udogachi are Agune Chemba. So Agune Chemba operatives are persons that are living in Anambra, residents in Anambra, that know Anambra, and also from Anambra, that are helping the security agencies in making sure that the safety that we are currently enjoying is stable. So it is in that regard that we are using these persons, because they know the nooks and crannies of some of these places, and they understand the geographical nature of the place more than the security agencies, more like a guide, because they live within the community. It's not that the police doesn't live in the community, but we need to partner with the community. That was why the Agune Chamber came on board, and it is in that regard that the state government step up this operation. Operation Udogachi in Igbo language simply means peace must reign. It is also an ideology movement to make sure that the Anambra key into what the security agencies are doing. And before that launch, there was necessary laws that were passed to make sure that they don't do beyond their boundary. So police is actually working with the Agune Chamber, and other security agencies are working with Agune Chamber. We have so many joint security forces that Agune Chamber is also part of it. And Agune Chamber is not, as the name is, it's just a replacement of AVG operatives in the States.
All right. So now, could you tell us how the confrontation happened? Could you paint a picture of the nature of the confrontation? At what point did the Agune Chamber operatives intercept these armed hoodlums? Let's have a clear picture of how that happened.
Okay, let me start by saying that nobody can take the glory alone of what happened in Aguata. The police were there, military were there, civil defense were there, and security, Agune Chamber operatives, that is AVG, were also there. Remember, I told you it's a joint, we have so many joint security team that comprises of these agencies, security agencies that I just mentioned to you, including the DSS that also gather intelligence for us and make sure that we use it to strike. So nobody can take the glory alone. Agune Chamber did their best, the police did their best, the military did their best, and the civil defense also did their best. So
all right,
we
so
are all in this
in line with the security operatives that were on ground, seeing as the police was on ground when this happened and it was a confrontation and not an attack, so to speak, could you paint a picture of what the police operatives saw on ground, how the pursuit took place between Oko and Ekwulobia? Could you just help us understand, paint a picture of the nature of that chase?
It was not a confrontation. These are criminals that, because of how we have made their place so uncomfortable for them. They came under that flyover just to instill fear. If you understand the geographical nature of Anambra and Aguata, you understand they have similar qualities. Why do I say that? Anambra is more like a transit state. It borders so many states, both Enugu, Delta, Kogi, River states, if you are going through Obaro. The same thing with Aguata. Aguata is more like a transit community where persons from Imo State and partly Abia State must go through before they enter Anambra. So because of the busy nature of that place, and in order to cowardly stain the record of the security agencies, what we have been doing, they just came there shooting periodically, and the persons that pay the supreme price as a result of that are even civilian casualty, civilians.
All right, so what you're saying, SP Ikenga, let me jump in, let me just come in there now. What you're saying is that this was not an intentional confrontation. This was not a confrontation at all. This was not a hot pursuit. This was a case of armed hoodlums coming forth, shooting sporadically, trying to taunt security operatives and their efforts, and then they were intercepted in the process of doing that. So there was no chase between Oko and Ekwulobia. Is that accurate?
No, there was no chase. It was when they saw that they couldn't succeed in what they were doing in that flyover. That was also in that hot pursuit. They went through Oko because, just like I mentioned to you, Aguata is a very strategic community when it comes to transition. So if you can go through Aguata and enter into many communities in Anambra. So it is in that regard that they were going through, trying to escape what that happened in Aguata. They now came to Oko feeling that they have a safe haven in order to also set, to add the records of the security agencies. They started shooting again, targeting the police station. But the men there stood firm and were able to repel them. One of them were also neutralized, and you can see we recovered the pump action gun, which they abandoned.
Okay, so there was no hot pursuit between Oko and Ekwulobia. It was just the hoodlums, rather, making their way from one location to the other. So they were not intercepted. There was no showdown until they got to Ekwulobia.
Yes.
Okay, so thus far, right, your institution in trying to nab these individuals, right, can you walk us through efforts being made thus far?
Okay, the command have observed two things. We are currently rejigging our strategy. We are following it both kinetic and non-kinetic approach. Kinetic approach is what we are doing operationally to make sure we confront these people. Non-kinetic approach, currently now, we have engaged in a lot of community security summit to make sure that we bring aboard the Anambra more in what we are doing. Gone are the days when we have what I call a conspiracy of silence, where people are not willing to come and talk to us. But this time around, people are now coming out because they know that we are all in this together. So generally, we are rejigging our strategy, trying to make sure that what we are doing before, we improve in it. And that is what brought us to where we are. And Anambra is safe. I must tell you that, you see, the impression people have out there is not what it is. Many events have held here in Anambra to complement what I am saying. And if you maybe get a call or you call people here in Anambra, they'll actually tell you that security have improved. The hosting of president was the hallmark of it. Even in Ihiala, where allegedly they say that event doesn't hold, we have events that happen there. People now do their burials, and here in Awka is more like a mini city where people move around and do their thing unchallenged.
So I want to ask you this question about intel gathering, and how safe these whistleblowers are, apparently, because the synergy between the security agencies and the indigenes of Anambra when it comes to whistleblowing and intelligence gathering. And
Okay,
how safe these individuals are after giving us information?
of course, they are safe. We have channels of giving us information here. The first is the police. We have our control room number out there, and even my personal line is also out there. We also have the state government also supported us in what we are doing. They have also, I think, put an incentive on persons that bring up information, and they also display their number there. And we have also tried to make sure that these persons are safe. And how do we do it? When you share information to us, we make it very, very anonymous, that you that is even sharing the information might not even know the person you share the information to. And we also try to advise the persons that bring up this information, don't go back to the community and start maybe making comments that in that regard that maybe something might happen in the community as regard of the information the person have given us. So it is a two-way thing. One, on our own side, we have tried to make sure that persons that give us information are protected. And the person that is also giving us information, we also try to educate the person, even without seeing him, because some of this information come as anonymous. Don't go and start making comments in that regard or the information you have given us, so that when we strike, nothing will be traced to you.
All right. Now, final question from us here. What is the way forward? What has the Anambra State Police Command taken from this, and how would the safety of residents be ensured in the coming future?
Okay. For us, it is, we are not there yet, but we are not where we used to be. And we are committed in making sure that Anambra is safe. And we also want to use this opportunity to letting the Anambra know that security is everyone's business, as the popular saying always notes. But in doing that, we should also know that the security agencies cannot do it alone. We also need your cooperation to make sure that Anambra become more safer for each and every one of us.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, SP Tochukwu Ikenga, Police Public Relations Officer, Anambra State Command. It was a pleasure having you, and we wish you a pleasurable day ahead.
Thank you very much, and thank you for having me.
And that brings us to the end of the AFIA Morning Show. Now, this is just a gentle reminder to all our viewers out there, our esteemed viewers, that Chimamanda Ngozi Adichie's exclusive interview with AFIA TV, head of news and current affairs, as well as host of the Eastern Eye, would be premiering tonight at 7 p.m. Chimamanda is going to be, shall we say, spilling all the tea.
Yeah.
Alex, of course, always has the questions that, the corner questions. So Alex is going to be bringing you, of course, this special interview on the Eastern Eye this evening at 7 p.m. So you need not be anywhere else, but in front of your TV screen, watching what Odelua has to say about the country as it is now, of course, other issues relating to culture, tradition, and the rest.
Well, I've been anticipating to, to looking forward to that. And also, you stay tuned at 8 p.m.
7
p.m. Sorry.
Don't make them join at the end of the milking.
And also, congratulations to all the blues, right? Yeah.
Oh, yes, you had to. Is that why you wore blue today?
That's not the reason why. It's just coincidence, by the way. The FIFA Club World Cup, definitely, they are the ones holding the title and the cup right now. Congratulations to all y'all.
All right. So do well. 7 p.m. Eastern Eye, Chimamanda, don't miss it. On that note, we draw the curtains on the AFIA Morning Show. This morning, I've been your host, as always, Natalie Oku.
And I remain OG, Nwachukwu. Have a splendid Monday and a week ahead. Bye for now.